Now, a couple of things just administrative wise before we get into this again. So we're moving to 2-hour segments just because I feel like that's the best breaking point. And then if you want to skip a segment, you can go for it. You usually be able to go to the beginning of the segment to get a sense of what we're going to do, and then go to the end of the segment to decide to watch the recap of what was actually done if you want to not watch the whole 2 hours. Okay, so I'm just putting it out there for anybody. I'll try to remember everybody at the beginning of the video because this is going on YouTube. So that you can save your time. I mean, I know these are long. A lot of them are wasted time learning the hard way and then deciding to go a different route. That's just the nature of learning. But to help you out, I'm gonna try to give you a sense of the goals, like in the first 5 minutes, and then I'll give you a sense of where we ended up in the last 5 minutes, so then you can go forward and back. First 5 minutes, covering goals for session, and last 5 minutes, wrapping up, conclusions, and summarizing. So that way you can just go check. All right, and let's jump on it. So the main thing today is going to be creating what we've been calling a host container Dockerfile image. And that requires a Dockerfile, right? So we're going to be writing that, and it'll be good practice. Hello world, this is eShell Bunny. And so when I do a Dockerfile, I'm getting better at them. The first Dockerfile in my life I've ever done was, I want to say, was that September? No. I think, no, it was probably June or July. Yeah, anyway. So, and I, since of course come to love them, I use them for work all the time. Everybody does as soon as you figure out what they are. So, and I'll try to, if you're brand new to this, I'll try to at least talk about what's going on, at least from what I understand it. And if I'm, talking bullshit, please tell me, because I don't claim to be an expert in this stuff. So, if you know something that I'm unaware of, let me know. And, you say, hey Rob, what about this thing over here? Docker Compose also included. It's funny you asked that about Docker Compose. Let's actually talk about that a little bit. Why I don't use /like Docker Compose. And so actually, let me just talk about this really quick. So I have kind of briefly talked about this before. Docker Compose does the same exact thing as Kubernetes. In fact, if you do a search for, what is it called? Kompose with a K. Look into Kompose. And so let's cover this, because this is a thing that I've kind of got a pet peeve on. I've said it a little bit more. What is one bar Kubernetes? Exactly. So the short answer is, this is going to piss people off. I'm sorry, but Docker Compose lost the orchestration war. And Q Macro and I think he was here earlier, have talked about this. He's a very respectable engineer, and and he thinks it's best to kind of build your learning from Docker Compose, probably because he learned it that way. But I've never learned Docker Compose until recently. I just went through and I summarized it all, and I went, oh, okay. This is just shorthand for the same thing I would do in Kubernetes YAML resource files. It's just shorthand for it. It's just a shorter way to write it. And then actually, because recently people have been bringing Compose up again, and I've been like, if you just they keep saying you're going to use Compose. So let's first of all let's go look up this thing called Kompose, which is with a K. This is a tool that was built, and I don't know if this is, yeah, here it is, compose.io. So Kompose is the tool user, you can hear, You can go, it's just compose with k.io. You can go read about it. So if you don't have any Kubernetes experience, I strongly, and you have a lot of Docker Compose experience, I can't stress the value of this particular thing, because this lets you look up how stuff looks in Kubernetes using your knowledge that you have already. Now, the reason that I am not interested in Docker Compose myself is because I don't have that baseline knowledge, and I don't want to pollute my mental space with yet another thing that's sort of like Kubernetes resource files. But the other day, last night actually as well, I went through and I read through the translation, an example of how it gets translated, and where was it? There was a sample here, and when I ran through the sampling, I was like, oh, okay. And it was actually, I'm kind of glad that I waited and learned Kubernetes first. And then I was looking at this, and then I kind of learned Kompose kind of in the backwards way. I learned it from Kubernetes. I was like, oh, so honestly, it's just a shorthand way of writing, resource files. And so what this Kompose tool does, which has been recommended to me by a lot of people, is it converts, here we go, see this? It takes a compose.yaml file, and it makes a ton of resource YAML files, individual resource YAML files, which I think is totally fucking stupid. I think that they should have put them all in a single file with triple dashes in between each one, as Tech World with Nana recommends, and I absolutely agree. She's got a real solid, awesome sense of architecture and simplicity and clarity. I really, really like her a lot. And you know me. I mean, I'll tell it like I see it. And I got to tell you, I've been really, really encouraged. When I first watched Nana's stuff on YouTube, I was kind of like, I don't get it enough. But her 4-hour overview thing is actually really great for somebody who's been kind of thrown into Kubernetes and is just trying to kind of like fill in the gaps and make sense of it all after they've already got all the little pieces. So actually, she explains services and ingress better than I've ever seen anybody explain it. I just kind of clicked right away. And but one of the things that she also recommends is putting all of your resource files in a single one with 3 dashes in between, because you can actually apply. You can do Kubernetes. You can do kube apply to a -f to an entire file. Now you get a bigger deployment. I mean, you get a bigger application, and it kind of makes sense that you might want to break them up so you can commit them, or you have a team just doing it. You want to be able to drill down into your direct thing. But in relation to Docker Compose, all of this stuff would be in a single Docker Compose file. That's really terse. It's like really short and sweet. And if there's one thing about Kubernetes, it's not short and sweet. It's not. It does everything the long way. You gotta write it out like way more verbosely. So if you are a Compose YAML kind of person, I can't stress enough how valuable I think this could be for you to see right away what gets built. Now, one of the things that came to my mind, I mean, the only time I've ever thought, the reason I recently started looking at Docker Compose again, not to mention because we did have somebody in here saying, you're going to use Docker Compose eventually, I swear to God, you're going to do it. And as soon as when I would reach for Docker Compose would be when your command line's getting too involved, right? So like, here's my command line right now. Where is it? Here it is. Okay, so this is a pretty involved command line, right? So this is like, because I have to have this mount in order to get system D to install properly, and you have to have the mount for the socket and everything. And so the command line is getting a little hairy, and that's usually when you would reach for something like Docker Compose, because you can put that all in this nice pretty YAML file. And I've been tempted to do that with Docker Compose, mostly because Docker Compose comes with Docker. It's with it, right? But the reason I'm not going to do that is because even though Podman and other tools, I suppose, are gonna support Docker Compose, I don't I don't want to have yet another format of stuff to maintain. So I personally am more likely, you know me with bash scripting, I'm more likely to write a bash script that's got a complicated command line in it, as I have done. That's what's here. Than to make a Docker Compose file, because not only that, but I think that there's more power in doing it with bash, because with bash I have all the power in the world to do whatever I want and to display things the way I want. With Docker Compose, it's like, yes, okay, it's all in a file, but now it's like, one thing. I also go back and forth about whether I should do a -f and keep my YAML file in a separate file, or I should just feed it to standard in my bash script, right? Because then you just have one place to go look for everything. You just have one script to go. And I don't think having a bash script is a bad thing. There are a lot of people who don't like bash scripts. They just slam on scripts as being too complicated and this and that and such. And I don't agree. I think that that keeping all that stuff in a single bash script is totally acceptable, personally. And so anyway, but we'll talk about that. Lately, I've been keeping the YAML file separate from the build script itself. But I've also kind of, just because it was mostly for screen real estate, actually. I don't want to have like big, huge files that span multiple pages, stuff like that. So Docker Compose. So that's kind of a long-winded answer about Docker Compose, but I don't have anything against anybody who wants to use it or who does use it. I just don't want to learn it. It's yet another thing I don't have to learn, because as you can see, you can do exactly the same thing in Docker Compose in Kubernetes. And frankly, I think I would rather use Minikube and write the resource files and potentially the Helm chart and stuff like that and manage it that way, even though it's a much more complicated process. There's no doubt about that. It's kind of like comparing Docker Swarm to Kubernetes, right? Docker Swarm is so easy to use, according to one of my best people that I mentored who reevaluated them all, compared to Kubernetes. But the fact of the matter is it's a Kubernetes world. And so I would rather have all of that time and memorization, stay with the other stuff. Oh, okay. I got a little message there. All right. So that's all I have to say about that, really. So this is another thing. I think it's interesting that they also have mini shift, which I've never used that before. So there's apparently a mini cube and a mini shift. I didn't know about mini shift. I don't know if I'm interested in using it, but so yeah, when I see people covering Docker Compose in depth and they're learning all the new syntax, I'm like, okay, get ready to never use that again. because you're going to be using it. The first time I saw that was actually Mastermind stream. He doesn't stream anymore, but as far as I know, but he was covering it like in depth, and I was like, why am I even watching this? And it had nothing to do with him. There's just so much to learn already, so I'm like shopping shit that I don't need all the time. It's like, I don't want to learn that. I don't need it. And thank God I can cut Podman again. Thank God. I went back and forth. So actually, before we continue, I need to give you the background. So I've been doing a lot without recording it. Thank God for y'all. Those of you watching on YouTube in particular have been following the saga here. And so I went through a moment of Podman insanity. Okay, so, and actually during that time I deleted all my videos about what I think about Podman because I disagreed with them, and now I agree with them again, and they're deleted, but it's too late. I'm going to do a final conclusion on Podman at some point now that I have a lot more background. But suffice it to say, because of systemd. So Manning publications, Manning, it makes pretty good ones. The ones that I've seen anyway. I like the inaction and stuff. Depends on what one you're talking about. They've been pretty good. Go in action has lots of errors, but what tech book doesn't? Yeah, I like Manning in general. So anyway, I just got to summarize the stuff I went through with Podman. So it's become clear. Okay, so it's become clear that we're going to need a host container image. Uh, so, and not just, okay, so the way I've been doing the tutorial up to now, let me just give you a summary of this. The way I've been doing the tutorial up to now, sort of, this is originally drawn off Kelsey's High Tower, but it's not really. It has nothing to do with it really anymore. But, so this was my original approach to this, and I've recently concluded that this is a fail. We can't do it this way. And let me tell you why. Pack is the imposter. Yeah. So let me tell you why I think this approach to learning it the hard way, and this is the hard way here means building your own machines, in our case, host containers that simulate machines, and as close as possible, by the way, to machines, and then installing all of your cluster using kubeadm, which is really not even the hard way. The even a harder way than that would be to do what kubeadm does, and I've actually documented that entire those steps to doing that. I did a Z on that, and I haven't. I don't think I've told anybody about it. So let me put a related link here. So where is it? It's in the news, by the way. I talked about it in the news. Every time I do news, every week I do the news, and I summarize everything I've posted in here. If you don't want to go back and try to follow them all, if you just want to kind of get an overview, it can take a while. But I'm trying to figure out stage. There it is. Staged approach for understanding how Kubernetes works. Let me put a related link here. So I'm going to do ZETID staged. Give me a sec here. Use a filter on that. All right, so this is I think this is it. Yeah. All right, so this is the what? No, that's not it. What is it? I can't remember what my thing is. Like, here, give me a sec. Is that I can't remember my own command. Well, I don't remember if I did external link or what. I have to. It won't work because it's going to break because yours is and not gonna point to it properly because it doesn't have the URL in it. I actually just realized I have a problem here because when it goes on YouTube, it goes in the YouTube description. It gets kind of munged up because the URL is gonna fail. So I'm just gonna put the ID in here and then you guys can figure it out. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what that's gonna do. Let's try it. I don't know. I mean, okay, so I want you to be able to, but in the Zettelcast, and I want you to be able to link on it. So anyway, so this okay. So let's take a look at this. So this is kind of how I'm going with this. So ZETID stage. All right. So you got to know all this stuff first. We talked about this already. Markdown plugin for Vim. I'm using my own. My own extension of Vim Pandoc. Yeah, it's in my stuff there. You can go look at my VimRC. And so here's a quick overview. And most of the time, I'm just using filters. That's what that magic I just did right there. That's just using regular good old VI filters, not even Vim. Here's a quick overview. So this is what I plan to do. Get familiar with these things, right? Use kind of minikube, done that. Use kubeadm init with VirtualBox. Now I skipped that step, and we're going straight to using kubeadm init to deploy in Docker, and then going through kubeadm init phase, which is really freaking cool. Check this out. We're going to be doing this later. This is, so the hardest thing for me to get my head around is what is the order of operation? What should I do in order to install kubeadm? So if you use kubeadm kubeadmin init, right? If you use kubeadm it's not installed over here. So if you use let me get it connected. So was it exec it single bash. All right, so kubeadm init, right? And this goes through all the steps, and there's some problems here we're going to work on, don't worry. But this is what I'm trying to tell you. This is the thing that was like gold. I wish somebody had told me about this on the first day. So if you do kube init phase, I think it is. Wait. kubeadm tab. Oh, I don't have completion. I'm going to bring in completion. Oh, watch this. Check this trick out. So yeah, you know about this, right? So kubeadm completion bash, right? And then you do kubeadm, oops, because it's using the Cobra stuff. Now, see this error right here? You know how to get rid of this? Watch this. The way to get rid of that, I found out, is you just have to source etc bash completion. It's the only reason it's doing it. Of course, you can't complete that because I fucked up. Bash completion. And what are you talking about? Oh, we haven't installed bash completion yet. Another reason to put it in the Dockerfile. Yeah, apt install bash completion, which we probably want. This is why we're going to do a Dockerfile, because we actually have a lot of things, and a Dockerfile is a good chance to keep track of it. So, yeah, and now we should be able to do that. And now when we do kubeadm tab, we get our stuff, right? So this is the one. Init tab phase. Now check this out. This is so cool. So I'm gonna write it in here because I want to show you overview of kubeadm init phase help for help. This is so cool. So what this does is this documents every single phase in order. So you're wondering, well, what are the phases, right? Here are all the phases. And by the way, these phases are not in order. They're in alphabetical order here, right? So, but these are all the phases that actually get done. So if you can use the kubeadm command to decompose for yourself, learning wise, what has to happen, the individual steps for setting up a Kubernetes cluster. To me, that's the hard way, right? And you can actually run each phase individually, not to mention look at the source code of kubeadm and see exactly what it does. That's how I found out it needed systemd or OpenRC. Those are the only two init systems it uses, period. And so yeah, you can go through this and kubeadm phase for help. Yeah. So that tells you all of the phases. What was I looking at? Oh. Yeah. So anyway, so kubeadm is actually the source of all. I'm starting to realize that the kubeadm code itself, the code within kubeadm, is probably the most valuable learning resource in all of Kubernetes with regard to setup and administration, because every single thing that has to happen to set up a cluster is covered in the code of kubeadm. And I'm going to say it again, learn to code, or to at least to read Go. Because if you can unpack so much more by looking at these different applications. If you don't know what Helm's doing, you could go look at the Helm code, and you could look at it. You could see, I've had to do that. I've had to see, well, what is this Helm template even doing here, right? Or what is it doing here? Or what is Helm doing itself? Or what is Kubernetes doing right here? So, or most operators are written, control operators like the Postgres operator, or the Ray operator, or something. They're written in Go. I mean, that's like Go. If you can't read Go, you really can't participate in the code native world. Not at a significant level. And there are people who do. I mean, everybody else on my team who's got great jobs and have been doing Kubernetes for a long time, and then they're going to be in charge of the production cluster resizings tomorrow. none of them read Go. They have no idea how to read Go. But I'm telling you, if you learn to read Go, you will be so far ahead because you can go right straight to the code and get an answer. And then you can like forget about all the documents that are written about it and everything. You can actually write those documents based on what's in the code. And you can shut people down when they say things incorrectly. Well, actually, on line 152 of kubeadm.go, it actually does X and Y. So like the next time somebody says, like I told you already, the one it says I got an error. It says no official init system detected. And I'm like, well, what the fuck are the actual init systems? After 2 hours of research online trying to figure out what init systems are recognized by kubeadm, I finally said, fuck it, I'm going to open the source code. And I found the code. I posted this in my ZETID so you can go read it. And I found the source code that literally looks for the systemd command or the openrc command, and that is it. So and I was wondering, does this support TNI9? Does this support docker.single, docker.init? Does it support, there's a million other ones. This is, systemv init. Does it support any of these other init systems? And by looking at the source code for kubeadm, I was able to immediately identify that there's only two specific things that it means in its stupid ass error message saying there's no officially supported init system detected. So that is a specific example of where reading the code would have saved me 2 hours, at least in that case. It felt like 2 hours. Maybe it was probably more like an hour. I don't know. But so I just have to keep saying that because I can't overstate how valuable it is being able to read source code. Because then you can make sense of it really quickly. And that, in these days, if you're going to be an SRE, you have to know how to code anyway. So just add Go to the list. Bash and Go, those are the two things you need to know more than any other in coding, in doing microservices. All right, and YAML, of course, right? But so we had this. I was just trying to show you kubeadm because I wanted to show you that. But you can do each phase, and so you can actually do this. Check it. You can do init. If you want to get an individual phase, you can get here. Oh, look, see, there's all the phases. You keep tabbing it out. As much as I hate Cobra, I do love that it does like multi-layer tab completion. So I don't know which of these phases is the first phase. I know pre-flight is the first phase. So let's go look at it, right? And if I do this like this, it'll actually execute pre-flight. It'll like just execute pre-flight and only pre-flight. So if you don't want to do all the other stuff, you can do that, right? So, and then you can go back up here. And then you can dash help. But this is what's so amazing. Look at it. It gives you all the stuff. It's like run free flight checks for kubeadm init using the config file. Config kubeadm config.yaml. And I'm not using a config file. That's really the first time I realized that you can actually pass a config file to the pre-flight. Because you don't really need to for init. You don't need to pass anything. Config string, help, stuff like that. It doesn't really show what it does, but you can go read the code for pre-flight. It's actually a phase, and you can read every single step that it does, and you can translate that into your own hard way without having to depend on Kelsey Hightower's interpretation of it in his, Google Cloudness and all of that. You can actually read exactly what the standard tool thinks needs to be done here, and including like all the images and stuff that need to be loaded. All right, so we're done with that. We're going to be making a new image, so this image probably can go away eventually. So yeah. Next, how's it going, Manabad Phils? So yeah, I put that link in there so you can go look at that if you want. I'm going to keep it to 2 hours, so I got to stay focused here. So this is the overview. The main reason I got detracted there is because I want to tell people that we're not going to follow the same way. I'm not doing first by hand, then create a Dockerfile. I'm doing start with a Dockerfile. And the reason for that is because we have to set the entry point as sbin init in order to fulfill the init engine stuff. And that can only be done from a Dockerfile. You can't change the entry point after you've already started running a container. So it's not like you can do it, but it's very similar because we're going to be adding each list to the Dockerfile as we go. Let me change this so I don't forget. Okay, so that's what's up. This entire README is going to need to change. In fact, I'm just gonna use it as a guide for right now, and then I'm gonna start working on the Dockerfile, which I waited on. Okay, so for this last we got 90 minutes left or so. How much time we got? Yeah, we got about a little over an hour. So we're gonna do the Dockerfile that contains everything up to this point, and I'll talk about it when we do it. If you don't know how to make a Dockerfile, learn. You can't even get into this stuff without knowing that. And honestly, there's so much assumption about your understanding of containers that if you don't know them, you're going to be screwed. So just learn it. I don't know any other way to say that. All right, so we're going to, if you've never made a Dockerfile, this is a really good chance to try it. I mean, it's, I would try on something simpler, but let's do it. All right, so what we ultimately want is we want an image that's got all the things from the tutorial in it, one step at a time, right? And we can go through, we can mess with it as we go. So first we're going to make a Dockerfile. It has to be capital D. I think that's influenced by makefiles. And I mean, you can actually put stuff in the build script later, but for right now, we're going to do all the commands directly. So what is the first thing that needs to go in a Dockerfile? Now if you know Dockerfiles, leave me alone. I'm going to do it very, very simply right now. There's all kinds of arguments and variables and everything you can put in here. We're going to keep it simple. So right now we know we want an Ubuntu image, and we're just going to use the default, which happens to be Focal right now, but we don't care. We're just going to keep it from Ubuntu. So this is the absolute simplest Dockerfile you could ever have. So then we do Docker. That's my shortcut. It's not an alias, right? D is a script for Docker, execute Docker. I do it like this so that I can do it from within a subshell, such as in a Vim filter, which you can't do with aliases. So there's videos on that if you want to watch it. So we're going to go do a Dockerfile, and then we're going to build it. So let me do docker build dot. Now you have to give the dot this is standard. I mean, it's just like it looks for the Dockerfile and then it builds it. Right. So the Dockerfiles are actually doing exactly what we would do if we were doing the commands ourselves to the image. And what it does is it creates one, and then it creates a layer on top of that, and then a layer on top of that, and a layer on top of that. So we're going to be kind of loosey-goosey with our layers at first. And then we're going to, later on, I can show you how to squash them so that the images get smaller and less involved. But you actually want a really granular, lots and lots of steps layer when you're first starting, because all of those steps up to that point won't be repeated every time you need to do it again. So like if I go to the Dockerfile and I say, what's the first thing we need to do with our Ubuntu image? We probably need to update it, right? And for this, you got to use apt-get. You don't use apt. Why? If you don't know why, go read man apt, okay? And it will tell you all about why you should never, ever, 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 ever use it for anything in a script. I'm not going to go repeat it. It's all on the man page. Read the fucking man page, RTFM. So apt-get -y to say yes. And you can just do update, but I'm going to do upgrade. The upgrade actually takes it to the latest level of Ubuntu. It really doesn't do anything, but let's go ahead and do it. You should do it anyway, just because. Oh, hey, look, we have a new one, right? So let's practice running our new Ubuntu. Let's test it. So I'm going to do docker run -it, and I'm going to get rid of it afterwards. I don't want to have it lingering, because I just want to test it. And what is it called? Did we give it a name? We didn't give it a name yet, did we? So let's actually change our build to something that has a tag. So right now we have an image, but it doesn't have a name. So let's do -t and give it a name. Let's call it single. All right, so that means our image is the same name. We're going to have a container name single, and we're going to have an image name single. So now it's been tagged single. So now I can actually run it, and I can do drun -it for interactive terminal. --rm to remove it after it's done when I exit. And then I had to learn all of this like this summer. And then what we're going to run, the image name. If we wanted to give it a name, we could, but we don't need to because we're going to throw it away as soon as we exit. We don't need name actually in this case. We just need, we would need name if we wanted to attach to it, but we're not going to do that right now. And we don't need any ports or anything. We're just going to run it. Okay. We're just going to run the image, and we're going to use whatever the inherited entry point is. And I happen to know that it's bash. So we actually don't even need that. We can just do this. And so run it and remove it when we're done. So here we are. And you'll notice that we can't apt anything yet, right? Apt install like curl. It'll say, no, I don't know why. Why? Because we're missing a step, right? So we exit out of our image. Now, the reason I did the -rm is I'd be leaving around a bunch of, empty containers if I didn't do that. So let's go back and edit our Dockerfile. In fact, why don't we open our Dockerfile in a separate pane? Let's do that. So let's do our Dockerfile up here. And down here, we'll actually run the thing. It's just fine to have it split in half, I guess. All right, so up here, so we need to not only do the upgrade, but we need to do an apt-get update, okay? And if you know Docker files, don't yell at me. I told you. We're going to do this one step at a time for everybody. So here we go. We're down here. We're going to do build, right? And actually, we can combine our commands if you want to. We can do d run interactive terminal. If you don't do that, you can't see what you're typing. So don't forget it. If you forget it, you'll know immediately. And then we want to run the single image. So yeah. Oh wait, did I do that right? No, that's wrong. I need this one. Where's my build? Where's build? Okay, I'll do it again. All right, so d build -t single. So that builds an image name single, not a container, an image name single. And you can change the name if you want, whatever. D run it --rm single. So that's going to run a copy of the single image as with an ephemeral name that we don't care about, right? And it's going to connect to it. This is it. This is the building, and then it's going to, after it builds it, it's going to run into it. Okay. Now, if I go over here, if I do DPS, you'll see there's a running container, right? So there's my single image running, right? This one is one from a long. That's the other one we've been using from before. That one can actually go away. We don't really need that one anymore. In fact, let's do that. Let's do d stop. We're going to be getting rid of it. So let's do d. Now, don't confuse these. One of them is a container name single, and one of them is an image name single. So we're going to do d stop single. That's going to stop the container single. And then we're going to do remove single. Now, that will remove the single image. We don't want the single image anymore. Why? Because we're making a new one. Actually, that might have just gotten rid of the other one. No, this was an Ubuntu image, so never mind. Yeah, did I get that right? No, that didn't remove an image. If you want to remove an image, it's RMI, and then that removes the image. That's right. I'm just kind of reminding myself. This is all basic stuff, basic container stuff. So now APS, I see, okay, I've only got the running one. You see how I gave it a random name? We don't care though, because we're going to, as soon as I hit exit, because I did -rm, the container is going to go away and get reaped. And you want that, otherwise you get this big ugly mess you have to clean up later. But if I wanted to connect to it at the same time, I could do dexec it, and then we could just connect to trusting, and then just say I want to connect with bash. If you don't type anything, it'll use the default entry point, which is still bash. So, but that's actually, no, you still have to give it a command. The exec has to have a command, I forgot. So that's us kind of SSH'd into it. So now we have two things that are connected to the same thing, but I just want to show you can connect to it, what happens. but if we do D images, you'll see now that we've got this single as the image we just created, and we have the Ubuntu that it's built off of, and then we have all these images that we pulled down by kubeadm, which put it in the Docker and Docker kind of thing. That was from before. We're going to reuse those, so that's not a problem. So we can exit this out, and now we're in here. We got our update, and now what? We've got so yeah. Now we should be able to apt. So what we can do is we can go back to our tutorial, and we say, okay, well, what is our prerequisites? Okay, this is what you need to know. Overview. Stage 1, create no bub. Let's follow the list, right? And we're going to put these steps that I wrote down how to do them by hand. We're going to, instead of having them by hand, we're going to put them in the Dockerfile. So create a host container. All right, we just did that. We made a container. We did this. It's from Ubuntu. We may name it single. Make sure you can connect to it. We don't need to because we're RMing into it. Okay, we did the update and the upgrade. Now let's get Vim, curl, and GPG. We know we have to have those on there in order to do all of this. So how do we do that? Okay, and again, I'm gonna get kind of lazy with my run statements. Now, you almost will always see this. Yeah, you know, all this means is if this action commits ends successfully, then do this thing. That's all it means. And the reason people do this is because it causes smaller images, because every time you add another run, every single line causes a new step, which causes a new overlay, which can make your container image big. But while you're doing what we're doing, you don't really care, right? I see people like prematurely make these short, you know, kind of early, and I mean, these two, I don't kind of, these two are probably good to combine, you know, who cares, right? But this other stuff, so apt-get, make sure you use apt-get for install. Yep. Did I get that right? Yeah. apt-get -y install. And what do we need? We need curl, vim tiny curl, and GNU GPG. Vim tiny curl and GNU PG. All right. And those would often be combined, but we're not going to. So now let's rebuild our image. So we can go back and do our same thing. Now watch how it doesn't rebuild it again. Actually, it will, because we combined it together. But this will be the last one. After this, I won't do it anymore. Every time it does an update like that, next time it won't do the update. Right? So watch, I'm going to show you. So now we have our system, and now I have curl on here. Curl rtfm.gg. Woot, redirecting to blah. Okay. So watch, if I exit, and then I rebuild it, what's it going to do? What's it going to do? Is it going to do the apt update again? No. Why? You see how fast it was? This is why you want to use the containers. Did it do the apt update again? No, because it's using an overlay. And this is really great because then if you like forget something, you can go back and change it in the most recent thing. But all of the other shit that you had to do to get the image to that point doesn't have to be repeated, because it has an image or an overlay for that's from back before that was doing it. That's the beauty of Docker. And that's why so many people use it. So this is, I mean, I'm kind of glad we're using Dockerfile. It's probably the right way to do this. So let's go back to our tutorial. What's the next thing we need? Well, now we're ready to install the 3 components of any Kubernetes node: Kubernetes Container Engine, Docker, kubelet, and kubeproxy. These logical components are fulfilled by installing the following packages. Docker Community Edition, which we're going to stick with that. There's lots we could have done. We tried Podman. We tried Containerd directly. Creo, which by the way has got crazy bugs in it. We keep hitting bugs with Creo. I'll never use it. It's got so many bugs. That's all I have to say about that. So I'm going to stick with Docker Community Edition because it's tried and true and tested. Even though, you know, people have bad things to say about kubeadm, kubectl, and kubelet. All of those are packages. And the problem is that we can't uninstall them. So if I go back here and I run my thing again, right? Watch, if I do apt install Docker CE, it's like, nope, can't do it. We don't know who you're talking about, because Docker CE hasn't been added to the package resource archive list. And this is a Debian thing, not just an Ubuntu thing. You'll see stuff on the internet that says add PPA and all that stuff. I don't do that because that's not compatible with Debian. I actually am not sure. What? I'm going to check something right now. I want to see if apt-key is compatible with Debian. Just give me a second here. This is something I was wanting to test for a while. So I'm going to download a straight up Debian image. So if you know your distros, you know that Ubuntu is built on Debian and adds a bunch of extra shit that don't necessarily need. And one of the things that they've added is add PPA repository or something like that. And you see that all the time because it really simplified the addition of a new source, to download stuff, and that's why we need to do this, because Docker can't find anything. I mean, we can't find anything from Docker CD to download because we don't know about the package archive, source, and it's a site, right? So, but one of the reasons I'm here is because I want to see if apt-key is a thing. Yep, it is. Good. But I tell you what's not a thing. So you notice how apt-key, apt-get, and apt-mark are here, right? But watch this on Ubuntu. All right. So if we do that on Ubuntu, this is just an alias, or it's like a shortcut command for stuff. Let's just run a base Ubuntu image. Let me show you the difference. So there's like, what is it? apt-ppa install. Maybe it's not there. Okay. So I made my point. I don't need to really go any further. So, I was trying to make sure that I can use apt-get on a Debian system, and apt-key and apt-mark. So apt-key adds the GPG key to the keyring of the local Linux machine, so that it can authenticate all the stuff from that source. You still have to add the sources list, but that's what it'll look for, the key. Do I have the key? So this adds it to the keyring, and you can do that by hand for the run alias. I'll show you in a second. It's a sort of a shortcut command. And then apt-mark. Apt-mark actually will lock down a package at a current version, which will force it to never be upgraded by any dependencies, which is really important in Kubernetes world. So we're going to come back to that in a second. So the IC run. So this is what my run does. I added privileges so I can run Arch. All I do with this is just a way for me to sample different distros really quickly. So if you want a copy here, I'll give it to you. Give run. And so, I mean, it's kind of cool because you can do run, was it Arch Linux? Arch Linux, I think it is. So if you want to run Arch Linux and you just want to test it out, I have this because a lot of times I want to see what one does versus another one. Run Alpine. I want to test Alpine, which LS, ls-l, which LS. Oh, and you see it's a Symlink and it's using a binary. So like you might want to test it against like BusyBox. BusyBox is another container, right? And this is kind of interesting. Watch this. So ls-shell, which LS, look what it is. It's actually a hard link. See this 400 over here? That's because it's a hard link instead of a Symlink. So Alpine uses Symlinks for multi-call binaries, and BusyBox, which is the basis of Alpine is built on BusyBox, uses hard links, which are even more efficient. So these are the kind of things that you might want to look at when you're running a container really quick, right? You can run any container that way, and it'll just create a copy of it for you. So that's just a quick and dirty little thing that I did. I guess I should probably put that here. Start Dockerfile. Use of run shortcut command. I should probably put like chapters in here. At some point I probably will do that. I just am not good enough to do that. It's so hard to get the times right. If I were doing it right, I would actually make a marker right now and I would have a time set offset. And then I would go in and automate it. Someday that'll happen. Just getting my descriptions up that automatically was a pretty big deal. Okay, so what do we got? Where are we? All right, we're building out. Yep. Okay, we don't need any of that. All right, so we have our Docker here, and as you can see, there's no Docker. Okay, so we need to add Docker here. And how do we do that, right? So if you go to the kubernetes.io resource, it will tell you, but we already have it in our tutorial. So let's start with a container engine, Docker Community Edition, even though we will be cheating and use the Docker engine running on our own workstation by mounting var run docker sock. We still need the Docker command. There are many ways to get this, but let's use the official Docker package archive. We'll authorize the package archive source by hand in a way that is compatible with Debian and Ubuntu. Okay, Ubuntu, which is from South Africa, by the way. We were just talking about that the other day. Yeah, Mark Shuttleworth is South African. I don't think I fully put that all together. I mean, I knew Ubuntu was based on an African origin, but I didn't know he was actually based there. Is Canonical located in South Africa? That would be an interesting fun fact. So here we go. First, let's get the public key from Docker, which is only available as an ASCII armor text file. So we'll have to convert it before adding. Okay, so what does that even mean? Curl SL says, really, really, really shut up. I don't care about your output. -L says follow redirects, so HTTPS will get redirected to HTTP or whatever is needed. If it's got a redirect, that's what's going on in there. So then we're going to do the curl. So let me show you. So if we do the curl like this, we get this. This is a public key, as you would find in your SSH config, or it's designed to be this way and text friendly, so it can be sent over email. Problem is that we actually need it to be binary in order to work in the key rings. So we have to de-armor the thing, and GPG takes de-armor, and watch what it does. It might break my terminal. You see that? That's the binary one. So it spits out the binary to the screen, and sure enough, it fucked my terminal up. So that's the actual binary trying to be drawn on my screen. But if we don't want it on my screen and we want to send it to a file, we can actually, we could put it in a file like tempfoo, right? And then watch, if we do what file type tempfoo is, we see that the file, oh, look, it detected it's a GPG key, public key, created on blah, RSI encrypted. Wow, that's pretty a lot of information. A file is your friend if you're a hacker. And if you haven't done over the wire, overthewire.eu, I think it is, either EU or .org, I can't remember. You should do it, and it'll teach you about all this stuff. It's a fun little hacker site. That's a free site for learning the basics of Linux and hacking and stuff. Over the wire. So if you do it, do Bandit. Bandit Wargame is the best one. So, and then this says, take the output of this, and this says read the input from standard input. This is standard, pipeline, Unix pipelines. And it says, and add it to the keyring. Now, I'm going to tell you what it does. You could do this by hand if you wanted to. You could go to, was it user share key rings, okay? This is where it's going to write it. So it goes to user share key. This is Linux advice here. This is Linux knowledge. It's not necessarily, Kubernetes, but you kind of got to know it. This is why, honestly, I really have trouble with people learning Kubernetes on Mac. Because unless you're running a Linux container, you're going to get confused because they don't have the same things, right? And you kind of have to have an implied, minimum Linux certificate in your brain in terms of knowledge before you can kind of move on. So here we go. These are all the GPG binary key rings that were added, right? Now, the thing about doing it this way is that it adds the name officially. So, but we were going to cheat, okay? So if I wanted to add the Docker one, which I think is already here. No, it's not. Okay, let's do it. So then we can pass that to, I'm not on the system yet, but I'm just practicing. So we can do apt-key add dash, and that will actually add the key. I think it needs to be sudo. Yeah. apt-key is deprecated. Use keyring files in trusted.gpg.d instead. First time I ever read that. That's the first time I read that. What does it say? apt-key is deprecated. People say depreciated all the time when they say that. That's deprecated. apt-key, I hear that on YouTube all the time. Manage keyring files in trusted.gpg.d instead. See apt-key 8. This command can only be used better. This is interesting. This is new information to me. I just found that out today. Like my car. What are you talking about? Is that what you're talking about? I thought that's what you're talking about. Where's my car, dude? Yes, I said the title wrong on purpose. Okay, so I think we need sudo on just this part right here. Yep. So it added it, but I'm really intrigued by this deprecated warning. So because this is the instructions everywhere. Trusted.gpg.d. We're okay with my car being Depreciated. Oh, right. Deprecated. Yeah. I get what you're saying. Okay. I'm slow. Okay. I see what you did there. All right. So here we go. We've got you don't have to sudo in your Docker image. No, you don't. You absolutely don't. No, thank you for that. But for sure that's a thing. So I'm just doing it here because I mostly I wanted to see this. So, oh, look at this. This is so fascinating to me. It didn't add it to the same place. God, that just makes so much of the documentation out there totally wrong, including all the Kubernetes IO stuff. It's completely wrong based on modern Ubuntu. It's totally wrong. It's all been outdated. God, it's so hard to keep up to date, man, people. I mean, the instructions on Kubernetes, on the Kubernetes.io, would actually have you copy the files into the keyrings thing and do move commands to rename them. And then I saw somebody else online doing apt-key, and now I just did apt-key from my modern Pop! OS system, and now I'm learning that that's now deprecated. How the fuck can we keep up with this? Okay, so apt-key. So I have to read. So I just used apt-key, and it obviously put it somewhere. Manage keyring files in trusted, but I don't understand how to do that. I'm going to spend some time to learn this because I don't want to be deprecated. apt-key, deprecated apt-key management utility. In other words, stop using it. Okay, well, I don't want to make a tutorial that's using an old thing. So what should I be doing here? apt-key is used to manage the list of keys used by the app to authenticate packages. Packages which have been authenticated using these keys will be considered trusted. Use of apt-key is deprecated. You've said it like 10 times. I get it. Except for the use of apt-key delete, which is not in maintainer scripts to remove existing keys from the main keyring. As such, usage of apt-key is desired. The additional installation of new privacy guard package with GPG is required. Well, we already know that. apt-key will last be available in Debian 11 and Ubuntu 22.04. What the fuck? They're taking it out completely? I definitely don't want this in my tutorial then. Nor should it be in the standard official Kubernetes documentation. Holy shit. I'm super glad I paused to read this. I've got to make a note about this. I gotta make a video about this, but I'm already making a video, so. apt-key support. Okay, wait. Let's put it in here. Discovered that apt-key is deprecated and will be removed. I mean, that's a pretty big thing to notice. I'm super glad I noticed that. And this is one of those things you can go to your buddies. You can go, did you know apt-key has been deprecated and it's going to be removed in Debian in Debian 11? And they're like, which Ubuntu is that? Ubuntu 22.04. Because the only reason to learn is just so you can sound cool, right? That's the only reason. Supporting keyring files. apt-key supports only the binary OpenPGP format, also known as GPG key public ring, in files with the GPG extension, not the key box database format introduced in newer DPG. Interesting. I wrote an entire Perl library that wrapped GPG because that was the only way to use any encryption at all when I made my own protocol. I made my own protocol at IBM, and it used GPG, believe it or not, to do all the header shit. Binary keyring files intended to be and the binary blah, 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 blah. Let's see, binary keyring files intended to be used. So it actually is a keyring. This was always bothering me because the .gpg files were just a single key. It wasn't a key ring per se. And it sounds like they actually are keyrings with only one key in them. That's kind of cool. Didn't know that. Apt update should be first. No. Apt. Should it be first? You know what? Let's go check. Let's go look at. You kind of got me on a tangent, but I'm willing to go there. Yeah, I'm gonna go look at kindest. I'm gonna go look at do I have it? Where is kind? Where is kind? I have it in here somewhere. I don't know. Oh, it's in the SIGs thing. Okay. By the way, this is why I don't use a fuzzy fucking finder, because you can use find like God intended. So let's see. So kind is here, and there's the images. And we shall allow the gods of kind to tell us what to do here. This is a very well established image. And this is, if you want to, as usual, when you want to learn how to code well, go find a project that's really reputable and look at how they did it. Better than any fucking book. Because you could either, the people writing this are actually writing real shit. The people writing books are making up examples for books that's keeping them from actually using the real code. Let's see. Install dependencies first from apt, then from release tellballs. I don't see any apt-get update yet. I forgot. We need to put Debian front end non-interactive. We're going to do this. This is pretty standard. You have to put this in everything. I should probably do it right now. Yeah. You need to have this. But this environment variable is only needed for this. This is what stops. Oh, you know what? I know exactly what we're going to do. Because if you don't do that, it will, the thing where it was prompting for like America and like what place to be and everything. So we're going to go ahead and add that. So non-interactive. I think I might have to do env for that though. I can't remember. Yeah. So anyway, clean install. I don't know what that is. Why is it doing clean install? What is that? I don't even know what clean install is. I have no idea what that is. Oh, I know what it is. It's been put in the I'm guessing it's in here. Yeah. So wow, look at all this stuff. So update, apt-get update, and then install, and then clean. Yeah. So it says just install all the stuff and then clean it up. That's kind of a cool little script actually. And all the stuff that you have to clear out, this is an important thing to make a good image. This is a really good example of a well-made image. You need to clear out all the extra shit that Run did to keep your image size down. And so they actually put it all in here instead of putting it in a function. That's kind of cool. And then they probably delete this file as well eventually. Install no recommends. Yeah, we don't want that. I forgot about that one. Yeah, but yeah, this just doesn't update. It doesn't even do an upgrade. I don't know about that. I had just update in mine here. Yeah, wait. Workspace. I got yelled at for this when I started mine. I made my own workspace. It's called Workspace in my GitHub repo. And I'm unminimizing so I get man pages and stuff because I want it's kind of a workspace container. And this here is what they said to do. So they said to do upgrade, apt-get upgrade, and apt-get install. Yeah. So I don't know whether it's upgrade or update. I think it's supposed to be upgrade, but what did the other one say? What did they do? They did update. They only did update. They didn't do anything else. They just did update only. So it's Screwbox. I made a video about that if you care. You know what? Fuck it. I'm only going to put update. And somebody can yell at me. I'm going to try to make this simple for people. So, and we need to do env, of course. Forgot that. So update, install, and then we want no recommends. Because otherwise it'll like stop the process. No install recommends. Otherwise it'll stop it from doing everything. And you can keep those on the same line by doing continuation, line continuations like that. Eventually we're going to do a clean too. And I don't know if we want to add that now and keep injecting stuff. Let's go ahead and do that so we don't screw up. Let's do an apt-get clean. And then we could do, I mean, we can make it all pretty later. But this is all of the possible stuff that you don't want left over in your site, unless you do, right? I actually love that this is here because I can just go steal it using my filter buffers, which are way better than anything any multi-pane VI can ever add you. Because it works with everything, even cross-editor. Yep, there it is. Okay, so we're going to remove all that shit because I stole that straight out of Kind because I trust what they're doing. So we're going to say clean up, whatever. I mean, we could actually, I don't know. We could get fancy. Clean up. Everybody do your share. Clean up. All right, there we put clean up there. That was the filter command too, in case you're wondering. Do the actual upgrade, the package. Update, only get proper information for your system. Upgrade, do the actual package upgrade. What do you think? Think we should put one in here? Yeah. Should we do an apt update and then do an apt upgrade? I think we have to do the install and then do the upgrade, right? I don't know which. I don't even, because it's going to get the latest one anyway. So I need more information. Yep. All right. So we got it installed now, and we have this really pretty image. I'm going to keep that up. I'm going to call this kind just for references. Update, upgrade, install is the good order. You're sure? Update and apt-get -y upgrade and update and upgrade. Okay. Alrighty. Well, let's stick with that then. And yeah, I know we don't have to see. How's it going, QMacro? So there we go. I mix those up all the time. It's not hard. They both start with up. And we got our nice clean here, and I trust Kind. After all, the people who made Kind created Kubernetes. They used Kind to test Kubernetes. That's why they made it. So good people there to trust. However, I know I'm not trusting Kubernetes.io right now because they're telling me to use apt-key, and like, no, apt-key has been deprecated. Don't use it, especially with modern GPG. So now I'm like, I'm gonna be schooling them. So apt-key supports. So let's go back to this tangent about GPG apt-key being deprecated, which I feel like is relatively relevant. apt-key supports only binary OpenPGP format, not the new hotness called binary keyring files in their, what is it? Not the key-based database format. This is, you know what? The Keybox database uses SQLite. We were just reading about that. We're reading about this. SQLite is now, GPG now has a dependency on SQLite. So if anybody ever tells you SQLite's not ready for production usage, or it's not sustainable, just tell them, okay, I guess GPG doesn't matter. The project GPG, you think they would, it's one of the most conservative projects on planet Earth, and now they just went to SQLite. You're a little bit late. Hello, Cindy. With regard to the apt-key, Bullseye is the final release to ship. Yep, we just saw that. We just read the same thing. Yep. Is that an actual CGI bin script on Debian? Bug report.cgi. My title for 5 years, actually 3 years, at Teleport was officially CGI guy. It warms my heart to see a CGI script still alive out there, probably written in Perl. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about, you old timers out there. All the young ones are like, what the fuck is he talking about? Perl? CGI? You just tweeted about CGI bin? Yeah, good old CGI bin. Remember the security errors in that? Holy shit. Not to mention all the stuff we would hide just by naming it something different and taking off its permission. God, the fuzzy, the busters, Go Buster would find that in like 5 minutes now. Yeah, nostalgia are us for sure. So I don't know, Q, if you want to whatever, go back, rewind. But I actually, somebody, Zisho Bunny was talking about use of Docker Compose. I was asking, and I very nicely went through why I think learning Compose and understanding Kubernetes from Docker Compose, if you already know Docker Compose is a thing. Otherwise, muddying your mind with Docker Compose might not be valuable, but it just depends. Because Compose is really, there's a whole, it's like 10 minutes of video on that earlier on today in this same video back yonder. Alternatively, if all systems which should be using Docker Compose, I already covered it. Rewind this video, which you can do in Twitch. You can actually rewind the video, go back and watch it. I talked about it like 30 minutes ago, 40 minutes ago, something like that. If you have timestamps, you can go back and see when Z-Shell asked the question. Z-Shell Bunny asked the question sometime. I don't have timestamps on. At least not in here. Okay, so what's up with GPG? Which one am I going to use? I actually want to use the new hotness in my tutorial and in my Dockerfile, so people can go, oh my God, he didn't use apt-key. He used the new cool thing. So binary keyring files intended to be used with the apt version should therefore always be created with GPG export. This is probably why, this is interesting because, one thing I noticed is that the Docker CE package archive uses an ASCII armor GPG, and some of the other ones use a binary one. And I wonder if that's why. Because GPG export does not, as far as I know. Oh no, Armor turns it on. Okay, so it doesn't armor it by default. Okay. Alternatively, if all systems which should be using or creating keyring have at least an apt version 1.4 installed, you can use ASCII armor format with the ASCII extension instead, which can then be created with GPG armor export. Okay, so that means we just have to save it. Add. Wait, what? What are we reading? The GPG. What? I don't get it. Apt-key. We're not using apt-key anymore. So, okay, what I don't understand is they didn't tell me what to do instead. Are we just supposed to be GPG add? Or are we just supposed to move the file where it goes? It doesn't tell you what to do instead. Add a new key to the list of untrusted keys. Apt-key add. It doesn't say what to use instead. This goes like the keys add a value are verified to belong to the owner of the repository. Instead of using the command, a keyring should be placed directly in etc apt trusted.gpg.d directory with a descriptive name and either GPG or ASCII as the file extension. Wow. That is fucking huge. That is fucking huge. Okay, I gotta try this right now. I gotta try that. This is huge, people. Does that even exist? etc apt trusted tested. It does. Oh my God! And look at all these things that use it already. Spotify uses it. Systems. I am so excited. I learned something today. I gotta zet that shit. I gotta write that up. Yeah, I should probably do it right now, but I don't want to. I'm gonna do it later because it'll be in my Dockerfile. That's why, and that'll remind me to do it because I'm recording right now, and I probably want to make a video about that. So let's do it right. Let's just do this right. So I'm really glad I read that. Instead, copy keys directly to etc apt trusted GPG something trusted.gpg.d. That is fucking huge. That is a verb. It was only a matter of time. I used to zet that later. Yeah. Because I never liked the word blog, to tell you the truth. It's not a fucking log. How many times have you read a web log? It's an article or something like that. A log, what is a log? A log is like a chronological thing that like lists all the single things you did and everything like that. That's what a log. In fact, Twitter is supposed to be a micro blog format. What does that actually mean? That means it's a micro web log. That means Twitter is supposed to be saying what you're doing in a given time. And frankly, it's closer to what an actual log is than anything else. Words matter, people. Q appreciates this. I know he does. So I use apt instead of apt-get. Do not do that. No, do not do that. Do not do apt instead of apt-get. That would be a major, major failure and on your part. I'm going to talk about it. Always, I did that and got yelled at. So I'm right there with you. Always use apt-get in scripts. RTFM to know why. I am not kidding. I got told to RTFM. I was like, okay, all right. I got fucking yelled at for using apt instead of apt-get. I love how rewind Twitch videos verbally skeuomorphic. It kind of is, isn't it? So this is what I'm talking about. So if you want to know the reason that apt will get you yelled at by pedantic and correct system administrators, do man apt. Actually, no. Do man apt-get. All right? So, and here I'm going to show it to you right here. No, man apt. There, it's man apt. Okay. Apt provides a high-level command line interface for package management system. It is intended as an end-user interface and enables some options suitable for interactive usage, which is what you are saying. So absolutely, it shows you progress and stuff, and that's awesome, right? Except when it's not. And much like apt itself, the man page is intended for the end-user interface as much as only mentions the most usage commands, blah, blah, blah. Right. Better suited for interactive stuff than tools like apt-get. But if you keep reading, you got to keep reading the man page. And it comes down here and it says, where is it? Oh, script usage and differences from other app tools, a whole fucking section on it, which is at the bottom, which means nobody read it. It wasn't you. It was absolutely not you. I know you like being pedantic and telling me things that I don't know. You're one of the many. No offense, but I can definitely say it wasn't you. It was Vera. Vera's the one who yelled at me. But I'm sure you yelled at me too. So it's quite actually really good. So add yourself to the list of people yelling at me. So this is why. The apt command line is designed as an end-user tool, and it may change behavior between versions. That is such a dangerous thing to say. While it tries not to break backward compatibility, this is not guaranteed there's a changeability. Therefore, all features of apt are available in dedicated apt tools like apt-get and apt-cache as well. Apt just changes the default from some options, specifically binary. You should prefer using these commands, potentially with some additional options enabled in your scripts, as they keep backward compatibility as much as possible. You found a tutorial about storing keys a new way? Oh my god. Thank you so much. This is why I stream. Because it's like so much more valuable. It is. I cannot overstate the value of your contributions. Because now look, the whole world will benefit from your little find there, because this goes into my notes now. So apt-key is deprecated. How to add. I mean, that's cool. We all know. We all 32 of us know how that apt-get. Now you can yell at people for using apt-key. So where is he? Cool, or where are they? Where's? How do I say your name? Kulutak. Yeah. So now Kulutak has something else they can yell at people about. There's a certain type of personality that enjoys that. I'm not immune from that. I like it too. You know, you're wrong. Who doesn't like saying that? By the way, when you say that, the backfire reflex will actually cause them to feel pain. If it's the pain center in their brain lights up. And you go watch Adam Ruins Everything. I think it's actually something Becky Ruins, Adam Ruins Everything. And they have a prize fight little skit that they do, and they talk about the backfire effect. It's the reason that when you tell someone not to get vaccinated, that they should get vaccinated, that they're statistically and objectively less likely to get vaccinated because you told them to do it. Because our brains are automatically defensive and we like fight back and we actually feel like we got punched. It's crazy. It's crazy. So if you can be aware of that, and when somebody punches you, and I get punched all the fucking time in here, then you can just kind of slow down and go, okay, yeah. And some days I'm good at it, some days I'm horrible at it, obviously. I think it's been captured on video someplace. Okay, so always use apt-get in scripts. RTFM to know why. You got to read the RTF whole M to understand why. We are all rebellious. We kind of are, particularly the Linux people among us, right? And we got a Linux streak even, a mile wide now, even though Linux is more mainstream now. I mean, this is actually kind of cool. I think I don't even need any more of that information. I think I can actually do it on my own. So, there's a man page. You can read it. But I get what you're saying about apt. In fact, I probably am guilty of telling somebody that apt was a shorter version of apt-get. Like, oh, you're so old school. You're still using apt-get install, wasting all those 4-character keystrokes. And then the other guy's shooting back. He's like, this isn't a fucking script, idiot. It's supposed to be in a script. Go read the fucking man page and you can see why. How's that for a fight? See, I role-played that. Obviously, I don't feel that strongly about that. I just say it was fun. You're still on aptitude? Oh my God. Okay. We just won't even talk about you. It's a joke. It's a joke. Calm down. Okay. So what do we got? I was both of them at different times. Yeah, I know. We kind of all are, right? It's like me and Podman right now. I'm like, Podman sucks. Oh wait, Podman's the godsend from all things. This is me. I get called Flip Flop Rob all the time. There's actually a version of my logo that one of the kids that I mentor, he made it and he inversed me and he put the copy on the bottom and he made a meme about it called Flip Flop Rob, because I change my opinion all the time based on new information rather than be dogmatic. But I do it like with intense passion, and that gets me in trouble. Every time it gets me in trouble. So, and everybody's like, you're going to love Rust one of these days. I'm like, no, fuck no. Fuck no. Fuck that. We're not going to talk about that. This is a mature stream, in case you were wondering. I use the word fuck a lot. And I apologize. I know some people don't like it. So, but what the fuck are you going to do? Not everybody likes what you got to say. Fuck them. Fuck them.
Just be yourself.
Be yourself.
If people don't like it if you're being yourself,
fuck them.
Let me tell you.
That's what I say. All right, so what do we got? Always use apt-get in scripts. Okay, what are we doing? I forgot what we were doing because I'm having too much fun. And I only got like a half an hour left. Okay, wait. We got to be more. It makes it more homey for you. All right, so we have to, okay, so we have to actually, all we have to do is did apt-key put it in the right place? I have to know this. I must know this. Because I just used apt-key and I have a feeling the deprecated apt-key did the right thing. I think it did. I'm gonna say it. I have a feeling it put it in apt. If I have a Docker key in my trusted files now, in my trusted keyring, then it didn't do it. Did it? Let's see. Git core, blah, blah, blah. Like saying system pop. It didn't. Wait, what? It went to keyring 2018. Okay. I don't think it did. I don't think it did. I don't think it did. I don't think it did the right thing. I don't think it put it in there. The key must be downloaded over a secure mechanism like it's selected a writable root, which should be user shared keyring's not trusted. Did I put it in the wrong place? Where is that? What's that? Is that? That's not in my readme. Is that a Zettelcast and I have that in there somewhere wrong? I need to do a whole one. Thank you for reminding me. I'm going to have to go find it and update everything because it's all out of date. Thank God for Zettelcasting, right? So I can update the existing stuff without people getting pissed and they can see when it was updated. Because how are you possibly going to keep this shit updated fast enough? I don't know. Anyway, so what I need to actually do now is actually I don't know why that file is in there. Fuck, I'll just leave it alone. So what I need to do now is I need to actually set up the steps I was going to do in my tutorial here. So this is what I was going to do. I was going to do the GPG arcade. This is now wrong. We know for a fact that this is factually wrong. Here's something else. This here is plenty good because this is already ASCII armored. So all we have to do is curl that file down into trusted.gpg.d and we're good to go. But we need to prove that concept by, let's go back into, let's do a rebuild. Where's my build? Yeah, we're going to try this. We're going to do this one at a time. We're going to test our step and then add it to our Dockerfile. Test the step, add it to the Dockerfile. Test the step, add it to the Dockerfile. And then we'll come back and optimize the Dockerfile later. Unable to evaluate Symlinks and Dockerfile path. Dockerfile such file directory. What? As it recommends list lstat no such file. That's the app Dockerfile. Wait. I didn't do a copy. Did it automatically copy everything over? Please tell me it didn't. I thought I had to do the copy. Yeah, okay. Good. All right, so let's try our thing. Let's do this. Let's do curl. And we don't have to dearmor it now because why? Because it said ASCII is fine as long as you do .asc is the default on the end. So there's our ASCII, right? So I actually have a feeling that yes, we can do this. We can do an O on this, and we can put it. We can, assuming there's a file for this. So we can do etc apt / You don't think it's who changed it to be user share keyrings and not trusted.gpg.d? Wait. Because I just read the man page. So you're telling me the man page is wrong? Now we have a problem because who's the right? Check it. So I just read the man page and the red page said use gpg.trusted. So where are you getting the information? So Louis Senti, in case you guys can't read this, Louis Senti is reporting regarding location. He found a quote: the key must, all caps must, be downloaded over a secure mechanism like HTTPS to a location only writable by root, which should be user share keyrings, not trusted.gpg.d. However, that is in direct contradiction to the man page, which says, note, instead of using the command, a keyring should be placed directly in etc apt trusted.gpg.d directory with a descriptive name and either gpg or asc as the file extension. So one of these is wrong. And I don't know which. Where is your source, Louis Senti? Is that from, which is now deprecated from the Linux Uprising page? I got the information from the Debian page. You will add the full path. No, you won't. No, you will not. No, you don't. You don't need to. It implies it. You do not have to put the key thing, and that's a new requirement. In brackets, I know what you're talking about. You don't need that if it's in the right place. And I don't want to overly complicate things. So, and maybe that's the thing. Maybe part of this new practice is you need to put it there automatically. Yeah, you don't need to do that. See, there's a lot of disagreement on how to do this, and I want to get to the bottom of this because there's actually disagreement between the official resources on this at this point because it's so new. So there is definitely a trusted.gpg.d directory, which is being used on my system by a ton of major applications. So I'm going to go with the man page on this one. Because let's see if we can get it to work first. But I'm going to go with the man page. Ubuntu backports, core Ubuntu, Microsoft, Spotify, systemd, System76, they all use trusted.gpg.d. And they don't, so to me, I have a feeling that wiki, I mean, wikis are notoriously out of date. I would suggest that the man page has got a better chance of being up to date than the fucking wiki. No offense, but wikis are really bad at staying up. So let's actually test it and see which one works. All right. So, Yeah, so let's try this one. Oh my god, I might actually be right because I read the man page. But I don't know yet. So let's hold our judgment here. Trusted GPG. And I'm actually gonna. Apparently, it doesn't matter what you call it either, which is kind of weird. So I'm actually gonna try this. I'm gonna call it Docker dot ASC, which it specifically said in the man page was the way to do it. And I don't know. Let's try it. So apt update seems to have. Oh wait, we didn't update Etsy sources. Now I'm going to do something. This is a shortcut. Please don't yell at me. Don't yell at me. It's bad practice to just edit Etsy source list, but I'm going to do it anyway. Fuck it. I'm going to do it anyway. I don't care. You're supposed to add a file that's got this in it in .d, and I don't care. Sigh. I know. Do I? Okay, fine. Fine. Okay, you convinced. You've shamed me enough. You've shamed me into doing the right thing. Fine, I will do the right thing. So echo. I'm going to steal these lines and put them in my Docker files while I'm doing it this way. So echo that into a file called Etsy apt /sources.list.d/docker.list, which is what they always put on the end of theirs. All right, so apt update. That should actually go get. Fuck. Wait, are we done yet? I think we need to be done. I'm making horrible mistakes. All right, so now what do we got? Then we got Docker now, right? So it should be do apt install Docker CE. Oh, it worked. It worked. It worked. What? Many Bothans died to bring us this information. A little bit of lame entertainment while we wait for this. 12. Okay, time zone. What is time zone? Eastern. That was different. Last time it actually made you pick from like a country and it was like took forever. How's it going, null ref? So I feel like that is a success, especially since watch. It's be like, oh wait, Docker PS. It's like, oh, I can't see your Docker daemon socket because we haven't mounted it yet. That's not a euphemism. I promise. And too much just chatting, watching. Dude, I have been obsessed with just chatting for the last like 3 days at night. And I'm not talking about the regular things that people are going to just chatting for. I'm talking about the like edgy case things, the things that don't make any sense. And I won't say anybody by name, but there's like, and I'm not even talking about, the obvious hot chicks. I'm talking that, I mean, that's fun and everything, but there's, okay, we're on YouTube here. I can't talk more. I have to stop talking. It's like late night TV that you can't look away from. It's like, there was a guy totally drunk last night doing the Macarena and I just could not stop watching it. I'm such a bad person. And I felt the whole time, I was like, oh, why am I wasting my time right now? But I just could not stop. I was like, fine. The whole time I was doing it, I was realizing, man, anything goes in Twitch, I guess. YouTube has standards. Living vicariously through the foolery. I don't know if that's it. I was trying to figure it out. I could not figure out why. You know what it is? I'm obsessed with human psychology and behavior. And so sometimes I watch it, I'm like, why is this person spending literally 10 hours making a computer game? Why is this person spending time? I mean, it's like, I'm just fascinated. It's not Docker inside Docker. Yes, we are. We're doing D&D and not the one with level 16 charisma. We're doing D&D. Yeah. You see that side of things too? Yeah. Actually, my new favorite category is travel and outdoors. I love watching people go adventure bike and stuff because I can't, at least not yet. So, and I have all the stuff for them. Yeah. All right. So we have to add all of our new learning here. This is the boring part. So we have to add that command to do that. And our tutorial is now officially like way more updated than the official Kubernetes documentation and Kelsey Hightower's thing. So because we looked it up as a community. We kind of looked it up. Thanks for all the help. So what are we gonna do? We need to run the echo command. We need to get the curl line. So let me go get the curl line before I delete it again from my history. So curl, here we go. Curl is in the house. And you notice how we used ASCII? We didn't even have to de-armor it or anything. So that's because we read the man page. Trusted Docker AXI. This AXI. Did I just say AXI? Axe. This, again, watching too much run chat. The guy that I just cannot understand. I should not even say. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna advertise because it's some of the stuff that happens over there is just so not okay. So what do we have here? Okay, we need to do something else with this. We need to say, okay, I've got that now, and I want to do my echo. And just so I don't make a mistake, I'm gonna go copy and paste it. I've learned this over the years. How many of you have absolutely thought you typed it right, but a simple copy and paste, even though it was a simple thing, would have saved you hours or minutes at least? If you've been around the block enough, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You learn to copy and paste. Even if, and you can do that in Tmux without using the mouse if you don't want, but you learn to do it because there's always that one time that you just barely got the letter wrong and you spent 5-10 minutes trying to find it and it was wrong. It was right in front of you the whole time. Maybe everybody's better than me, but I'm telling you, you will probably do that eventually. You will learn to copy and paste. I noticed Nana does that. Yeah, I actually kind of funny. She goes, well, I'm just going to copy and paste. You know why? Because she's been burned by that at least once. Yep, and so she doesn't. It's like these tiny little practices that kind of creep into your habits over time that can save you lots of time. Yeah, is it more than you'd care to admit that you forgot to do the copy and paste and you missed a line or a double slash or something? Yeah, and it's usually when you're tired, and so you just learn to just copy, even if it's like only one word, right? So, because yeah, why not? So echo, because you got it to work. It's strictly speaking, it's more of a test-driven method to do that. Why is this guy still like that color though? That's freaking me out. I don't think it should be. All right, I'm gonna rebuild this. Yep. And while we're at it, this is where we can use Docker Compose. Docker build, but we're gonna mount a thing. Actually, we're gonna mount a thing. Yep. We're gonna mount a thing. We're gonna mount var. We're gonna do Docker and Docker. This is all it takes. This is why it's so popular still, despite all of its problems. It's just so easy to do. That's all you have to do to get Docker to run inside of your container. Shit. I mean, something else. Wait, did that work? How did that possibly work? Unable to evaluate Symlink's Docker path. What is causing that error? I don't know. It's this thing is causing the error. Oh, it's trusted.gpg.d. That's like her name. Let's see. Oh, wait. You know what we forgot? We forgot to do the update. Yeah, we got to have that. And update -y. apt-get upgrade. Derp. Okay, apt-get -y upgrade. -y update. Yeah, that's it, right? Control every 5 minutes. Me too. But you know what? You always that paper that you threw away in college that you accidentally forgot to save. You ended up writing a better paper anyway afterwards, right? That's my theory about why Back to the Future was so fucking amazing. Go watch Back to the Future. They had to redo almost all of it because they had to do a new SAR. And so they had all this footage and everything. They were able to put everything, including the sparks on the skateboard, the fact that he wore a life preserver, all this stuff, that all got added after the fact. So because they got extra time because they had to redo it. Because they basically had to throw the movie away and then redo it with the existing footage. True story. I'm addicted to the Netflix series about the movies that made us. Yeah, there's if you like movies, there's a series on Netflix called The Movies That Made Us. And it goes into all the details. It interviews all the stars. It's actually where I truly learned to appreciate Robert Zemeckis and people know who the names are and stuff. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. And they did an entire one about Back to the Future. It's just absolutely fascinating about how it got made. I used to be into that kind of stuff even when it was just not just Star Wars. So, why is it doing that? I feel like something's not right. EPS, Docker, PS. Yeah, something is not right. I have failed. I have failed. All right, wait. Unable to prepare context. Symlink and Dockerfile path. I don't know. Wait, is that because I fucked up something? Oh shit. It is. I think. Wait, no? What? Dockerfile, no flash file directory. Oh, I'm in the wrong place. I feel so stupid. I feel so stupid now. Oh my God, I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid. I was in the wrong directory. Shh, pretend you didn't see that. Even though it's going in a video. That looks much better. Okay. It looks like it's working. It's time for me to go for a run, actually. I'm going to go after this. I'm going to go run. Actually, today's... error setting certificate verification files. Oh, because we don't have CA certs installed. All right, we got to do that. That's because we need certificates, and we don't have any. So we have a dependency here, people. So let's actually put another one of these here. We'll put them all on the same row. So we need CA certificates, isn't it? Isn't that it? I think that's it. I happen to know that you need that in your image if it's gonna work. Unable to locate CA certificates. Fuck. I guess that's not it. It's time for me to go now. What is it? I know I have it. I have to look it up. Let's see. CD workspace. I have it in my workspace image. I'll go find it. Build essentials. CA certificates. What? See, it's right there. Apt transport. I think we probably need that too. I thought that came with it by default. Maybe not. These are all things that you have to put in your images if you want to use them for stuff. I'm pretty sure you need CA certificates. Certificates. Let's see if that does it. I think I still need to use the other thing though. I think I still have to do the app transports to get the error to go away. I don't know. We'll see. Uh-oh. Is it happier now? It's looking kind of happy. All right. That looks happier. Maybe I don't need it. That might be overkill. You never heard it? Yeah. So, oh, you're talking about the other thing. Let's see if we have a Docker now. Docker PS. Shit. Did I not install? I haven't installed Docker yet. I did all the stuff to set it up and I didn't install it. What the hell? All right. Well, I mean, we might as well just put it on the end of this too. apt get -y install no install recommends Docker -c community edition. All right, so I rebuild my image now. see what happens now. And if this works, we should actually have a Docker to use. It has two. Why didn't anybody say anything? Because you're not watching. It's okay. You're just watching me make a fool of myself. I'm gonna put. You can tell it's time for me to go away, do something else, step away from the computer. Yeah, you need a break. Okay, now, I have a feeling. I have good feelings about this. Look at that. It worked. Vigilant McCarthy. Is that Jenny McCarthy's anti-vax nickname? Vigilant McCarthy. The names there, I swear, somebody was like a closet comic, and they decided to Vigilant McCarthy. Hey, it worked. Your kid's scared of autism, so I wish mine were. I mean, you can't knock it. So, all right. Yeah, every porn star turned mother anti-vax advocate. Okay, so the world needs more of that. Make sure focal and stable match your release. Yes, okay. We are done. I mean, we've got Docker on here. We're not completely done, but we're getting pretty damn close. And I'm close to the end of this video as well. We're going to close up in 7 minutes here. So we've got this. All these steps from the tutorial have now been added to the Dockerfile. We have a Docker version, and then it'll tell us our version here. And you notice how it doesn't fail because we mounted the thing, which you could put in a Docker Compose or a script either way, and I make a big deal about getting around it and having to redo your whole thing. So, and while we're at it, so let's mount systemfs cgroup in read-only mode so that sysd works. And this is something that I came to understand after many hours of looking at this stuff. And I'm actually I have enough stuff here that I'm going to start putting it into a script. So I'm going to put this into my script. And we'll call it, I don't know, let's call it build and run. How about that? I can just write a function, x.build. Actually, let's do build. Let's just call it run because it's already build. And I'm just going to put this line in here. And this gets automatically tab completed for me because I made a cool little thing here for this. It's in my bash template. So Docker run. Why am I doing this? Because I'm going to have to put a number of things here that would normally be in a Kompose file, right? But I kind of like the Docker thing better. I just do. And this is just going to run it and then go away. So run and remove, run rm, and that's all I'll call it. Maybe I'll have another one that's like, better or something. I mean, I could put a dot in there. That's just something I've been doing lately. So yeah. Anyway, we need to do sysfs. So this is the cgroup file system, which is used by cgroups. I'm just getting familiar with cgroups. Cgroups are what make containers possible. They've been around forever. Docker gets all the credit, but it was cgroups in Linux that made it happen. Way back in the Shroot days, we used to say you could make a Shrooted environment for that, and what we really meant was a container. That was a long time ago. I don't know if anybody remembers talking like that, but that's how we did it. All right, so here's the cool thing now. I can just do this. I can say build, and then instead of this, I'm going to do b run rm, and that'll run all my thing. And Docker ps. We got that. Exciting Snyder. Okay. And then what? Now I can do other things like this. Watch this. I can do this is, you can't do this without that cgroup mount or Podman. And so I'm going to do this apt install systemd. And you're like, why are you putting systemd on here? Because kubeadm requires it. Actually, I can't put systemd on there yet because I need to point at it. Let's let you kind of wait. No, I think it's systemctl, right? What is it? I can't remember. Fuck, I hope I wrote it down. You can inspect the mounts. You can do the exec single bash. We don't need this. Okay. Docker version, Docker PS. Okay, that's all good. I really hope I wrote it down. I'm going to be pissed if I didn't. You don't need dash init, ironically. I thought you would, but you do not. Here, look, the whole apt-key thing that was totally wrong. This is completely and totally wrong. Don't use apt-key. It's deprecated. Entry app sources use however you want. Yeah, no, don't do that either. Don't forget update after that. Oh, right. Well, no, we need systemd. Where's systemd? We need systemd, or I'm not gonna be able to do any kubeadm at all. I don't see it. God damn it. That's another system. This is all wrong. This is a lie. I don't think I wrote it down. Shit. Did I mount it wrong? Wait. Apt. Install systemd. Package systemd is not available, but is referred to by another package. If maybe the package is missing, has been obsoleted, or is only available from another source. Apt search systemd. Init system helpers. I don't remember. I thought it was systemd. I think. Oh, you know what it is? I forgot to add the Ubuntu source. Yeah. There's another Ubuntu source that you have to add, and I can't remember which one it is. Yeah. It's under Susie someplace. Yeah. And I think I deleted it. Yeah, I deleted it. Damn it. Yeah. It's under the Kubernetes. You have to add the Kubernetes source, and I added it, and I forgot to put it here. Damn it. All right, so let's go back and find it. There is a, because I remember it being on Susie. I was like, this is on Susie. So if you want system, you have to actually add another thing to your list. It's not Google. This is the one you have to add. Wait. You need to add the Google one if you want the Kubernetes stuff. But if you want systemd, I want systemd. So I bet you have that. Install systemd on Ubuntu, and it'll install systemd. Validate how to install the Ubuntu package. See Ubuntu Confluence. What's Ubuntu? Command not found. Package is okay. The package query is it sys control cl. SEOS release. Which is sorry. Where does it go? I'm trying to find out where it is. Oh crap. No, I know that it's to get. I know I went through all this. I didn't write it down. Bad meme. See, it's just a regular install. It's just a regular install. You just have to get the source. You have to get the source. It's not included for the containers. Yep. Container. So there's actually a whole write-up on this. That's where I put it. I actually have a link to the write-up on how to do this, and that's why this is actually not this one. There's another write-up on it. After reading packages builds dependency systemd -container. Dependency systemd. Where is it? I have it in my notes. I can go find it in my notes if I need to, but I'm just kind of trying to bypass them. Wait, systemd container is not the same thing. It's easy. Let's look. For systemd container on Ubuntu server. No, we don't. I don't think we want a container for it. No, I don't think we want the container. I think it's a different thing. The amount of support you have, blah blah blah. Per manager. There it is. Personal PPA archive. Systemd and related packages are on this PPA. No, that is not it. No. I want to use the Susie source. I'm not adding fucking PPA for this. No. All right, fine. I'm going to go to my trusty Zelcast then. That's what I have it for. Add init system containers. And thank God I have it. So here's the whole thing about this install systemd apt install systemd, but I forgot to add the step. I'm going to make sure to add it to my TLDR at the top. So you need to go Docker systemd this setup. This is it. I want to choose Docker run. This is the one right here. Yep. Copy link. Links. Paste. All right. So here we go. Yeah, this is it. This is the one. Yeah. CentOS, yum install. Tells you how to get everything. This is definitely the one I remember because the parades were all off. Systemd Docker. Here we go. So this is where I learned to enable it. You have to do these other things, but you actually don't need to do any of that. All you have to do is mount the C group, which is where I just read about that. And there you go. I probably should do that. I didn't do that before. Cap add system in. I don't know what that's about. I probably need to do that. Let's try without it and then come back to it. Why? Where's my install? I don't remember the install part. Wait, it doesn't have the install part. I swear to God it worked. Where is the installer? Where's the Docker image to launch Docker container? Tell them Docker container we have that. Docker pull, Docker images. Nope. Service start HTTP, no. No. HTTP service, no. Working fine. SMGPID can't operate. ENTRYPOINT container. It's privileged, yes, doesn't need it anymore. All right, we added that line, but where do I install it? System running. But enabling system also private somehow. It's linked to circle. We understand all the concepts. I don't think that's it. Oh wait, maybe this is the one. No, this is the one that does the OpenShift stuff. It's in Docker container. Libvirt sandbox. No, this is not the one. Yes, it can, but you have to. I'm telling you, there's a SUSE. There's a thing we have to add. It's from a SUSE site, and I can't remember it. Systemctl. Maybe it's systemctl. That might be it. Oh my God. If that's it, I'm going to be really mad. I'm going to be so mad. I think it actually is apt install systemctl. I bet it is. No. Well, apt update. Apt install systemctl. That, are you telling me it didn't do an apt update? Wait a second. It didn't redo the apt update. I'm confused. I don't trust this anymore. Hey, I mean, I'll fix it later. Yeah. apt-get. So it. Wait. Yeah, that's gonna put it in there. Yeah. All right. Right. So let's actually test this. We did this yesterday. So I'm gonna test it by putting something that requires it in there. So apt install OpenSSH-server. We did this yesterday. And you probably don't want to put SSH server on there unless you're like temp testing and all that. You clean at the end of your Docker file. You think that's why? Should we get rid of that during the development? Let's do that. Yep. Let's do that. I think you're right. We'll add it to the final version, right? I see what's up. I see what you're saying. So let's comment all that out. And combine these back again. That was overzealous. And let's test that. Now I don't necessarily need SSH on here, but I'm gonna put it on here just as a test. I mean, yeah. Well, all I'm trying to show is this much. So I can do service. Whoopsie. Hey, what's up? Did I jack up my? Yeah, I did. All right. So I did that whole thing where you suspend your terminal with Control S on accident. Control Q gun does that, by the way. So let's do this. We need to do. I'm going to do this. I'm going to service SSH start, and that will start up SSH. Or we can do, what is it? Systemctl enable. System CTL status says up and boot with systemd. Can't operate. This is why we're doing this. And this is actually the end of the session for today. The entire reason I went to a Dockerfile is I realized I needed to change the entry point. Because the default entry point for Ubuntu is bash. And we have to overtake that. And we have to now start using sbin init to start everything. And that doesn't happen if you do dash init. It starts Docker init, I found out the hard way. So we're going to test this by setting the entry point. Entry point. And I don't know if I have to do it this way, but we'll try it this way. Sbin init. And let's try that. So we're going to build this again. Error response from Daemon failed to create a shim OCI runtime failed. Starting container process cause sbin init stat sbin init no such file or unknown directory. I honestly don't know what to do with that. So that's my first time looking at it. Run Apache container. Okay, so we did that. Oh, it's user sbin init. Is that it? Is it user sbin init? I mean, this one says user sbin init, so I guess that's what it is. From sysb bro exposure to sbin init. All right, that might be it. Let's try. I don't know. Fuck. Stat no file directory. Huh. I don't know, man. I don't know. This is new territory for me. So we're trying to get it to run. And let's get the other error we had. Okay, so error response from daemon failed to create shim OCI runtime create failed container linux.go. Starting container process caused exec sbin stat sbin no such file directory unknown. Well, maybe I didn't install it properly. Let me get rid of it for a sec. Wait. What? Oh, we have to do the helper tools. Yeah, we have to do the helper tools. There's some other stuff here that has to happen. Yeah. Yum update m clean container docker. Yum install systemd. It's because we just installed. We didn't install systemd. We installed controlctl. Yeah. Wait. Apt install. Yeah, it was systemd and not systemctl. Derp. Yeah, I fucked that up. All right, so, well, first of all, we didn't do any entries here. So, oh my god, I didn't even install it. I'm stuck. Oh my god, you guys. All right, install systemd. There we go. Let's try that. Yeah, I I am embarrassed. All right, here we go. This should be better. Let's hope. Installation's happening. All that fucking Python for systemd. Response SB not there. No sysfile. It's doing it again. I don't know why. So I think it might be user actually. We're gonna go find out again. All right. So. SPen, I'm almost positive it's user SPen, but I didn't have it installed at all before. Yeah, that was my bad. So it's user. I bet it's USR. No, it's not. Fuck. Where is it? Where is it? What's the init process? Which init? Find name init. User lib init? No, it can't be lib init. That is really weird. I must be missing something I have to install still. You're talking about just using the binary? Type file. Couldn't find anything. Huh. Oh, whoops. Fuck. Rob. Run systemd, user lib systemd, bar lib systemd. Yeah. Sys group. User bin systemd. That's got to be it. It's got to be user. So we try user bin systemd as the entry point. Yeah, let's try that. This is all new territory. User bin systemd. I mean, we might end up having to do other stuff to it, but let's just try that for now. Yeah, this is fun though, because it's new territory for me. Shit. Failed to mount tempfs. Freezing execution. Failed to mount API file systems. Why would it freeze execution? It looks like it's not happy. Operation not permitted var unlock. Failed to mount tempfs. Well, let's try something else. Let's try d-exec it single. Gosh. Did it actually get made? A lot of services should be removed for this to work. Oh, you think services should be removed? Yeah. I kind of feel like we need to put systemd on there before we install the rest of the stuff during its detection and stuff. You know what I mean? I think we might need to install systemd first because I think that some of the other applications are not, they're not detecting it or whatever. Maybe. I mean, it doesn't matter. But I'm curious to see. The thing I find... Oh, wait. There we go. Yeah. Bash. PS. I mean, let's just see. I just want to see what's running. So systemd is init 1. So it's more or less okay. Failed to mount tempfs at run. Operation not permitted. Failed to mount tempfs at run lock. Operation not permitted. Failed to mount API file systems. Freezing execution. That doesn't sound fine. That doesn't sound good. I mean, this is cool though, because this is all new stuff. This is me debugging systemd on a container, which I'm totally okay with doing. There's definitely something conflicting with systemd though. And I have a feeling it's probably just the plain old services that are running on it. Let me see if there's anything in that write-up before I go to. I'm gonna drop and go run or something. And we'll come back to this probably later tonight. Actually, I'll do another 2 or 3 hour session on this stuff. Activated services that will only work on real hardware, like mount mount slash run. Oh, right. Slash run won't work unless it's real hardware. Yeah, I see what you're saying. The problem is that which of those services are going to stop the container from working, right? So it said frozen execution. I think that was only for that one. You know what I mean? I think that the rest. You know what? Let's try it. So let's actually take this full scale. The reason I'm doing this at all is because reasons. It's not gonna. Boy, it doesn't take anything. It doesn't control C or anything. I'm gonna have to start running that with the -d flag because it's a daemon. Yeah, at least unless I use the bash command. So yeah, that's like pretty. That's like a pretty. It's not even taking. It's not taking interrupts or anything. Not taking suspends. It's not taking anything. That's kind of cool, actually. So I mean, I'll just close the terminal window. Yes. All right. So DPS is still running. Yeah, there it is. It's running. So how's it going? It's going good. Going good. We're making progress. So I'm going to change my build script to just run. Yeah. Run. I won't do RM anymore. So run ITD. Yeah, because it's now running as a mounted thing, and that's all one goal. But what we need to do now, though, is do the other install. So we have to add the and I'm gonna wrap up after this. So install systemd and set entry point. So there we go, and remove them all, and add only the one, the bash, but a lot of work. Oh, all the other systemd stuff. Yeah, I mean it's that's kind of cleanup we can do after the fact if it runs. It doesn't look like it's stopping it from executing stuff. So what I want to do is see if it's doing its thing. Yeah, in fact, let's let me try something with this just regular one right here. So if just like go ahead and build it, and what? Oh, whoops. Yeah, there's no one. All right, so now we have that. Now we can be run, and then we can go ahead and connect. So let's do dexec it. Well, now we're going to need to give it a name. So this is where Kompose comes in. People would start reaching for Kompose. I am not, though. I'm going to do dash name single dash h single, and I'll show you what that does. So yeah, we're gonna have to kill the other one though. I can say no, you already got one. Docker run requires at least one argument. Did I forget to do what I think I did? Yes. Fuck. And it's not going to kill the other one though, so that's the problem. Yeah, I have to figure out how to. We should probably do restart. Now there we go. All right, so and then what? Then we can do this. So we can do no, we can do d exec it single bash. There we go. Error response conflict daemon singles already in use. Okay. So we exit that. See, I need to restart the single thing every time. Yeah. I do. I don't know if I can take this. Let me see. No, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do this every time. So I'm gonna do Docker. I mean, you could probably do it at the same time, but I'm gonna do single. And then assuming it's there, I can make this better, but whatever. RM single. And that should do it. I mean, what's it doing? Entry to bin bash script to do all the service stuff that you... It'd be for the entry point to be a bin bash. Oh, you change the entry point and then run systemd if it's not running? Yeah. Yeah, I can make an entry point at some point. We'll definitely do that. Yep, we'll definitely do that. But for right now, I just try. So we have apt install OpenSSH service server. And I'm trying to show you how we're going to do this. Systemctl status can't operate. System has been booted without systemd as the init system. I don't believe you. It says it's PID 1. What the fuck? Huh. Well, I have work to do. And this is why I have kind to look at if I have to like go back to something, I can read kind and see what it does. But there it is, it's PID 1 right there. And apparently it's not enough. So system has been booted with systemd as an init system, can't operate, failed to connect to bus. Host is down. I want to know why. I wonder if it's because it didn't finish its execution. It had all those errors. I think that was why. Yeah, I think that was it. So if we do tail, I think that's what stopped it. Yeah, var log. Where's my? I mean, dpackage log is a boot up, but no, that's not it. I mean, when we were running it had some failures. I have a feeling the systemd is not actually coming up, and there's no logging happening because we just pulled it up and didn't really do anything with it. God, look at this. So YAML systemd multi-user targets once. Volume. Ooh. Wait, can you do a volume mount in a Docker container? Can you do a volume mount in a Docker container? You can't do that, can you? I guess you must be able to. You must be able to. sbin, user sbin init. That's my Dockerfile is using Fedora. This is working on Red Hat. systemd wants, it's like all of this stuff is getting rid of. I think what's happening is a bunch of these are failing. And so that's what's happening. For that to work, the Symlink bin init work. A Symlink bin init to user bin systemd will pass the error. You think so? Symlink bin init to systemd. You think so? Huh. Let's try that. That's like sneaky. That's like really sneaky. How about user bin init? Should we do bin init or yeah, busybox style? That's a good point. I hadn't thought about it. That's like really smart. So run ln-sf. There's no F, I guess. User bin systemd. It's to. I always forget which one is first. I can never remember. Bin init. Let's go try it. Oh shit. All right, so let's do /bin init user bin systemd. I can't forget systemd exists. Yeah, I have it backwards. I always have it backwards. Bin init. Yeah. And change the export, of course, to bin init. We could change the bash, but I think bin init's probably better, right? because it is a, it is a daemon. And let's try that. And then we'll have to clean up. So if it doesn't work now, it's because it crashes. And then we have to do the cleanup to get the crash to not happen. I'm guessing. So let's see if we can bypass that error. And it seems like it's really deleting a lot. I think it might be deleting the image too. No, let's see. I think it timed out trying to, that was an error. I have almost guaranteed that's an error. Yeah. Yep, been in it. Let's just try. Apt install open SSH server. Yes. Actually, I didn't need that. I just systemctl status, right? Yep. Nothing to do with it. Can operate it. So we'll have to look at the bottom of that. I mean, this will be fun. We can actually do a little bit more of that. So we're making progress. We do have systemit installed. It wouldn't even install before. So we're doing things that you should never do with containers. This is like mad science. We're making our container turn into as close as possible to a real machine. And we can cheat because that's exactly what kind does. Kind does this very thing with systemd, by the way. So if we need to, we can punt and go look at the kind. We can actually just use the kindness node if we really needed to. But I like going through the process of knowing what is required to get it running, because that shows the system administrator really quickly what's up and what they need to add and what they don't. I'm done for the day, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video, and I will be back tonight though. I don't have anything officially on the calendar for later tonight, but watch the calendar. The calendar, I do have an extension. If you're on mobile, you can go click on the Google Calendar and it'll tell you what's up and what's coming. I am going to be doing a production change tomorrow, beginning at 8 a.m. And if that finishes, I'll be doing other stuff during the day, Colearning, Kubernetes Colearning, stuff like that. So, but I'm definitely coming back later today. I just need to take a break. So hopefully this video has been somewhat helpful. If for no other reason than discovering all that stuff about apt-get. And these notes should be in here. Symlink bin init to user, what would you do? User bin systemd. I say still kinks to work out. So I'm just going to do a really quick review before I close the video, just like I promised. So you can go to the first 5 minutes, the last 5 minutes of the video and see what's up. So today I went through the thing about changing to 2-hour segments in the first 5 minutes of the last segment. We did Docker Compose. I talked about Docker Compose the first 10, 15 minutes or so about why I don't use Docker Compose and why if you know Docker Compose, you might want to look into Kompose with a K to learn about Kubernetes by watching how Kompose changes a Docker Compose file into a bunch of Kubernetes resource YAML files, which will really maybe help you make a mental association with what happens there. Otherwise, I'm not cluttering my brain with Docker Compose because I just want Kubernetes in there. I did go through a moment of Podman craziness over the last couple of days. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm going to try systemd straight up the way Kind does. We need a host container. We're still working on that. I did talk a lot about kubeadm and init phase help. You can go see what kubeadm does, either by looking through the documentation or by actually downloading the source for kubeadm and reading the Go code and seeing what it does. If you want to know the hard way how to set up a cluster, there's nothing better than reading the source code of kubeadm. It is the definitive source for how to set up a cluster from scratch the hard way. It just so happens that kubeadm does that for you. Right. So that's, I strongly recommend that as a learning activity. Start of Dockerfile. So we start up the Dockerfile again. I created a run shortcut. I created some stuff in my build script to do this. This stuff will be committed to our repo as usual. Discovered the apt-key is deprecated, and we spent a good 15-20 minutes on trying to figure out what to do now. So apt-key, which is not Kubernetes IO, has you use something that's not apt-key at all. And we found out that every other resource, including some write-ups in the wiki on the Debian site, are all wrong. According to the man page, you need to download a ASC file or a .gpg file into etc app trusted.gpg.d. This is straight from the man page. If you don't know about this, go read the apt-key man page. It'll tell you all about how it's deprecated and you should never use it. We then proceeded to have everything just work fine, but make sure you read that. And that caused me to redo a lot of my tutorial that was talking about, setting up SQ. So I'm really glad I eliminated all that stuff because it's all wrong. And I'm going to put a big thing at the bottom of this. It's like, this is currently wrong and based on old apt-key info. So I'm just going to, because I'm going to commit this too. So this is the Git repo. If you want to go to it, GitHub artifacts Rob lab Kubernetes 8 Kates -hard -way -docker. And then what? We started messing around with a Dockerfile in there, and we still have a lot of kinks to work out. We can't get systemd to start up enough for the systemctl enable or status command to work. We're working on that. When we get that to work, then we'll go back to the step of working with kubeadm. Again, kubeadm requires systemd to be installed or it will not work. That's why we're doing this. All right, and a couple of links there for you to go look at. And that's going to close up this video for today. Leave comments and all that stuff. I do try to sometimes read the comments, but it's more important that you actually come into live stream. If you want my attention, that's probably the fastest way to get here. Just come into rtfxrob.tv and just leave a message. Even if I'm not on screen, I'll get to it. All right, that's all.